Welcome to today's reading on what does the universe want you to know at this very moment. So, as we progress on our life journeys and come across important choices, the universe brings us important messages as to what is the best advice. How can you make choice that is point of time, or just a heads up on your general situation or what you're currently going through, as it can bring a lot of healing. So we will be doing that today, and we have three piles. For pile one, we have this beautiful geode crystal. I'm not sure what crystal this is, but it's like a beautiful cave inside, and you can see there's light at the end. Like, looks like after going through a lot of caves, you are able to see the light finally. So that is for pile number one. For pile number two, we have this beautiful shell with a spiral. Like, this is the universe, like the one of the main symbols of the universe expanding from a point beyond and beyond, and the snail's shell physically manifests that structure, and it's really beautiful. And you also must know, you might have known this already, like when you put the shell in your ear, it whispers, so that can be a special meaning. We'll see, we'll get to that in the reading in more detail. And for pile 3, we have this is not a crystal, but this is like a beautiful gemstone soap, and it smells amazing, and it has these beautiful colors of orange, yellow, purple, red. Very, very interesting soap. So these are the three piles to choose from. Whichever one draws your attention the most, that is your pile, and you will find the timestamps for each of the piles in the description box below. Welcome, pile number one. Those of you who chose this beautiful geode crystal. Trying to see if we can still see the light there. Yeah, we can. So this is like a beautiful, like, it gives me the vibe of catacombs and like cave, and really just like going inwards, instead of focusing on the external world, just going inwards and exploring all this magic that exists within you. So that's the kind of vibe I'm getting with this crystal. Let's see, what are you currently going through, pile one? So what's the overarching idea of what you are going through, pile one? Let's see, what is pile one going through? What message wants to come out for pile one? Okay, we have approval, and we have automatic negative thoughts. Yeah, I kind of got that while I was shuffling. My memory just brought in something that was very similar to this. So what this pile is about is you thinking less of yourself. With automatic negative thoughts, let's say if you have a choice in mind, you have two paths you can take, and you're trying to make logical sense as to which choice is better for you, and you're weighing all the pros and the cons, and then because of this confusion, you just end up spiraling into this negative thought of confusion, and your head starts to hurt, and you become anxious, and it's not fun. And in the midst of all of that, you sort of end up getting very hopeless about the situation, because you think that neither of the situation is going to lead to a happy result, or neither of it is easy, and you're sort of stuck in that back and forth, and you're underestimating how much the universe is with you at all times, guiding you. But to be able to hear the voice of your inner self and the universe, you have to surrender your um, you have to surrender this analytical thinking, logical thinking, and allow your natural flow of feelings to guide you. This does not come naturally because this is a new way of being in this universe on Mother Earth, and it takes time and practice and patience. But it is about taking a conscious effort in that moment where you're feeling like really negative and down about the situation, and then just pulling yourself back and saying, I give it to the source, and um, I I trust that I will attract the best possible solution by just replacing the negative thought with a positive one, and reprogramming it in that very moment whenever negative thought pops up is going to help you through this turmoil. And this card of approval um, says that, as in this geode, the geode, the rock, it's sort of like covering all this magic that is inside, and um, not everybody will be able to see the magic in you, um, because everybody's perception of you is going to be filtered through their own way of seeing things. Like, as simple as a bat, which can be scary to some, can be very precious and adorable to others. That's because of the difference in perception. It's the same thing, but an evolved and happy and fulfilled soul will see the beauty in everything, and a person who is unfulfilled, fearful, and makes choices out of survival and um, follows herd mentality, they will not be able to approve you of your inner beauty that resides in you. And that's teaching you how to trust in yourself over gaining approval from others. This would be a good time to just be with yourself and observe. Observe the statements of the people around you. Once somebody makes a statement to you, how does it make you feel? Analyze, not in your head, but just feel how it influences you. And if it is making you feel heavy and making you doubt yourself, then that is a person who is projecting their own fears and doubts on you, because as divine beings, we are infinite and have unlimited potential, and um, we are all manifestors and co-creators of our reality. And when we are in alignment with ourselves, we can do the impossible. And that's why the first step is to get in alignment with oneself, not depending on other people for approval, not seeking guidance or advice or a logical opinion or even any sort of opinion um, from anybody else, because you may think that you do not have enough experience doing these things. But even as a child is born into the world, the child is already attracting experiences for themselves. So you already have all the information you need to make a choice. You do not need any external um, guidance or opinion from anybody, because you in your heart know. Now you want to try the way of seeking other external help to make you come to a certain decision or a certain situation in your life, but that's not going to lead you to your highest potential, because you have to go within your and trust your heart when it comes to your life. And the universe will automatically bring in all the information that you need at the time, but you don't have to force it or control it. Just be natural and just try to be happy in the moment. And it's easier said than done, but um, this is the guidance that universe wants to offer you at this time. Let's take a look in some more detail as to what's your current situation. Why what is this current situation that you're having negative thoughts about and needing wanting approval? Yeah, so as you can see in both these images, there is a person trying to give the other person something, but they are both like, no, thank you, I'm good, sort of. So, this is to me talking about you seeking approval from people. Like, you're showing them, do you think this is good? Do you think will this make you happy if I do this? And they are closed off, and nobody else knows what's best for you. And you have to have that trust that universe has your back, and you cannot make a wrong choice. How you can improve the way of being is by not being like in your head, not dwelling on something like back and forth, just saying I surrender. And this is talking about you going back and forth in your head, which is sort of like blows your mind off because you're so stuck in that loop. Because um yeah, because um you kind of want to get over with it. You kind of want to reach the destination before it's arrived. You want to see the like how it's going to turn out, whatever the situation is, in either case, and that's what's working you up. And um, it's causing a lot of chaos. And yeah, it's definitely in regards to um, a choice, like an enterprise or birth of a project or an idea, and it's getting very chaotic because you feel like it's in the frog stage like where you cannot really um where you see it in your hand, but it's like it's not fully ready. And let's see the other messages. And the bottom of the deck I have fear, worry, tense situation, and it says do not worry. So yeah, the universe wants you to know that worrying about a choice or a decision or a situation is not going to bring you peace or an answer. When you calm your minds and trust and surrender to the universe and just allow things to be the way they are, when you have a calm mind, your you will be able to make better choices for yourself from a place of calmness and love for yourself than in the energy of being a victim, that nothing is good is happening and I'm so confused, I should have known by now. All of that fear is not going to help you at this time. So let's see what is this new enterprise? It can be different for everyone, but let's see what comes up. Let's clarify this. What is this new birth of child? Oh, one. What is, please clarify the birth of child. Okay, so the card I got was another guidance from the universe as to don't play a role, be true to yourself. So at this time, you may be, like it has already been shown, seeking approval of others, and this is saying the answers you're looking for you will not find outside of yourself, you'll find it inside of yourself. Just being by yourself and trying to understand your situation with a calm state of mind and not over analyzing or thinking logically what is possible, what is not possible. Just trying to understand your fears regarding the situation, like what is my biggest fear. Just expressing it on a piece of paper will release a lot of that fear. So as you understand the fear and what is motivating you, are you doing something out of fear, and if so, what is the exact fear that is causing you to behave like that? Because as a co-creator, you have the capability to attract and design your own destiny. And if you feel any less than that, then what's in the way? What's stopping you from being your true self? Are you trying to be somebody to please somebody else? Is your action influenced by other people who are trying to pressure you into a certain situation or choice? Or are you being really, really true to yourself? In order to live your destiny and your truth, you have to know your truth first, and that comes through exploration and letting go of the right and wrong, and letting go of the need to be perfect in everything that you're doing. Just allowing yourself to have fun will connect you to your true self. So that's all that I've got for you, Padawan. Hope this reading brought you some peace and happiness, and I wish you guys all the best. Welcome, pile number two. Sorry, those of you who chose this beautiful shell. So, the message that is coming through here is be careful of what you are listening to. Because that has a very significant influence on your emotional state. Because I observed this first when I used to watch The Bachelor and Love Island and all that stuff, and um, it was not very uplifting, to be honest. I'm not going to say anything against it because like everything has its own purpose and wisdom. Even those shows have something to teach us, and I'm not saying anything negative about it, but it used to bring my emotional state a little down, especially because there was a lot of they would gossip, they would be so judgmental and gossip, and that would have a negative effect on me. So similarly, this is saying, like, if you're watching news where like people are getting killed all the time and there are wars happening, that has like, the more you feed that sort of energy to yourself, the more of that you're focusing on, and so you're drawing experiences that are vibrationally aligned to that frequency. So I'm not saying like if you're watching a lot of war and news where there's sad news everywhere all around you, you're going to see, like, if you focus on it too much, your overall life starts to, like, the life force starts sipping away because you get all pessimistic about life, and like things start going wrong one after the other, like all of that. So be very mindful of what you're feeding your mind and what energy. Like if you play good meditation music, it has the impact of uplifting you, makes your overall energy level high, and so whatever you do it out of a positive state of mind, which will make you, like, you'll do things in a more relaxed and happy way, which is going to bring in better results compared to a sad vibration. So uh, that was a message. Now let's see what's the overall idea that we're talking about. What's the overall idea going on with pile 2? Let's go with pile 2. Okay, so again we have resolve. So this is similar to pile 1's energy, where there is some inner conflict, where there's in pile 1 that there was more of negative thinking patterns and seeking approval. Here there is stuck energy within you, and either you may be stuck in this indecision or conflict because of the influence of other people, or because within you, like, when does this inner conflict happen? It happens when the ego mind and our soul consciousness is having like a back and forth, because mind is quite rigid. To be honest, mind can be quite rigid. It wants what it wants, and the soul is like, no, there is something that will serve you better, but the mind does not understand it, because the mind is like, no, but I want this. It's like, let's say in a human body we have the bones and we have the blood. Now the blood, instead of being blood, if it says, no, I want to be more like bones, I think bones are more important in society, and they are strong and everything, and I'm just like flimsy running around everywhere. So your soul is going to try to say, no, be the red blood cell. It is important, it is an important role, you're part of this flow and system. You cannot be the bone, and the bone has to be the bone. So everybody has to play their own role, but the ego can conflict and come in the way, or there is some indecision because you need to learn something more about both parts that you're confused in, and with time the universe will bring in more information, and one of the paths is going to become like blatantly clear, like this is the one for me. Until you feel that, don't pressure yourself to come to a decision, because the mind is what seeks instant gratification. The mind thinks that if we can choose a path now, we will be happy. But the truth is, even if you make one of the decisions, like if you have two choices, if you say, okay, now no, I'm going to choose choice B, and that's it, and I'm not thinking about it anymore, then you're doing two things. One is you're blocking yourself from the infinite possibilities in your current situation by sticking and being rigid on that one choice. And the other thing is, you're not going to feel at peace with your choice, because you have to come in inner alignment. You have to feel right about the choice. Otherwise, even after you've made the choice, you're still gonna feel anxious and iffy about it. So unless and until you come to a choice based on your heart, you cannot really be free from this choice. And the earlier you accept it, that I accept this and I'm okay with this confusion, and it's okay to not know everything in the present moment, and just go with it and just see what information, what experiences universe brings to you, and you just be open to saying, okay, I'm open to whatever the universe wants to show me and has to offer, and I trust the universe that um I'm attracting my best case scenario and whatever is in my highest good. Okay, so let's get some more details on what is this indecision and inner conflict about. Okay, so this is do something silly and fun. Yeah, you may be taking things quite seriously, and that may be like throwing you off balance even more. And the universe is saying, just chill, bro. Everything is good. Go and watch a movie, have some popcorn, have a good time with friends. Allow the universe to show you how to get to your answer, because there's a divine timing to everything. And yeah, let's see. What is this inner conflict about? Okay. So there's definitely some heartbreak from the past. Somebody, it seems like somebody really broke your heart, like your inner child was wounded, and not your ego, but your very innocent side of yourself that you perhaps keep very to yourself and trust very few people with it. And you perhaps trusted somebody and they broke your heart like this little child crying. Um, and things may have come to a stop, like you perhaps ended or somebody ended a situation which was very painful. And here this is saying that don't worry about this situation, it's under control, and this person who hurt you in the past is willing to make amends. Or if perhaps you are this person who did this wounding to somebody else and you're thinking that the situation is over, this reading is saying that they are still open to working things out with you. And as you have both evolved and can be in a more harmonious relationship, and these three cards came out, like this is all about the divine. Like this is a very like this is kind of a spiritual pile based on these three cards, because this is telling me that the justice will be brought into this situation. If somebody broke your heart or you broke somebody's heart, the peace and justice will be restored, because with the child card it was very innocent, but there was perhaps some wounding because the ego self was not healed fully. And as you both evolved into a higher state of wisdom and raised your vibration, you are attracting this uncharted water, new reality into your life. And that's going to be more easygoing, playful, and fun, because you're both going to be so open-minded and so flexible and accepting and loving and caring and free, that it's going to feel amazing. If in the past it felt like it's definitely not going to be the same anymore. It's going to be very refreshing, inspiring, and rejuvenating. So yeah, if there is some inner conflict, the universe wants to tell you that whatever heartbreak you went through, you will you will be not revenged or avenged, but your pain was not a waste. It has brought you so much more wisdom and discernment, and you are free from this cycle for good. Perhaps in the past you were trusting people who would easily break your heart, because you have such an innocence about you. Not everybody is able to see that or even appreciate it, and because you may feel already quite by yourself because of your unique heart, when you do feel people are good, you trust them and you want to have this sort of relationship with them, but um, based on how the other person's fears and insecurities, it can be very easily wounding. So learning to discern when is the right time to pull yourself back and when's the right time to be open, like getting that sort of a wisdom, this situation has been completed because you are wiser for it and you don't have to repeat the cycle again anymore, and you can trust the universe that beauty and magic await in your life in general. So that was your reading, pile number 2. Welcome, pile number 3. Those of you who chose this beautiful gemstone soap. Um, this tells me that you have a really vivid, colorful vision and imagination. Like you believe in dreams and magic, and very creative, very expressive, very curious, and very pure. So let's take a look at you guys' reading, pile 3. So what's the overarching idea? What's going on with pile 3? What's going on with pile 3? So what's going on with pile 3? Yeah, as I said, very pure vibes. Let's see what's going on with pile 3. Interesting. Just look at what I saw here. So what I feel from these two cards is that you are sort of a person who gives without much expectations from the other person. You don't have an ulterior motive for for serving individual self and ego. You're sort of a person who's very community oriented, like it's going to benefit everyone sort of a person. Let's do something that's going to help everyone and so that everyone can be happy. And being that sort of a person is very hard. Because it's hard because everybody can seem like can try to take advantage of your precious gift of energy and presence in their lives because you're so giving. people may have tried to encroach on it for their own selfish reasons, even though you were thinking about everyone's happiness. Perhaps the people you came in contact with were only thinking about themselves. So once we see that and still try to be open to being that pure essence self, but learn the lessons that were attracting low vibrations, new doors open up for you. And because your beautiful vibration was always worthy of what your true desires are, like all the abundance the universe has to offer, because you give that vibration to others, and what you reflect will be shown back to you. So with the new door, it's saying that your love, unconditional love, your high vibration, your essence is attracting a similar match for you in the near future. Pile 3. Okay. That's too many cards. But it's all talking about the wrong environment, which is what I picked up. So let's see. This card and this card is like a total shift. This is when you're in a situation where people are encroaching on your energy, time, and your giving nature. Like people belittling you and trying to tell you that you're nothing special when obviously you are. And keeping you stuck in this, where like hidden from your own true self. And because once you recognize who these people are, it's so strange, because one, I feel, to be able to get to the point where we are able to see who is actually a healthy person or not, because it's not blatantly evident, it is shown over time, it may accumulate over time, and one needs some time to themselves to actually come to the realization and have this courage to detach themselves from this toxicity, because people are very good at masking. People can be very manipulative and make you feel like they're the best you're gonna get, and you should be grateful, and because they are better than you, you're supposed to overwork yourself or overcompensate for you not being good enough. So people encroach on that, but the truth is that you've always been good enough. And once you realize the toxic people around you, because this is not a straightforward, like you don't see it straight away, because of how good people can be. And also, like, we have that sort of like for me personally, I remember like not being able to recognize this instantly because of the patterning I always had. Like, I thought it was okay to be treated like that, and it was not. And that was because of my lack of self-love at the time. And as I developed more self-love, I was able to see more clearly the toxicity around me, because when we don't love ourselves enough, we settle for bad behavior, we settle for unrealistic expectations, we settle for trying to please other people to just prove that we are worthy to stay there and all of that. But you're always good enough and you're always worthy. And when you see that yourself, the universe brings new doors to lighten your load, because you're not meant to live like that. You're meant to live in a happy, healthy, loving environment. So one example of this would be like I was watching this cooking show. So you know how these restaurants, Michelin star, they put so much pressure on the chefs. Like, they say that okay, in 30 minutes you have to cramp up your reserves and place like 150 plates of food for like in this much amount of time, and they have to be all perfect, and like putting a lot of time pressure on yourself, like being really harsh on yourself, like using the energy of fear to create things. It can push you to do more, but definitely the vibration of that creation is not even comparable to the vibration that people put in when they're in a happy, loving environment. So, like, I feel the UK bakeries and restaurants have a more chill vibe, and they create out of love and passion, and not because they want to meet some deadline or a time crunch. That's a very lack perspective. So that's because I have watched shows like MasterChef US and Britain's great British baking something show, and the contrast that I saw was exactly this. So I just shared it with you as an example. And this is again clarifying the toxicity that you may, like, when you're in the company of these toxic people, it may feel a little off to you, but you may think that, oh, but everybody else seems to be fine. Like, perhaps I am overly sensitive, perhaps, um, you know. But this card is saying that it's feeling off because your intuition is right. This is not a healthy environment for you. And as you organize your energy better, like, let's say there are people who are draining you, like asking you too much of yourself, as you start to cut them out slowly, 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 and retrieve your energy back and focus on yourself and your own happiness, make your own peace of mind and happiness a priority. When we do that, instead of focusing on whether we will be able to get our ends meet with a different profession, or um, doing something different than what you're currently doing, like instead of focusing on the lacks, when we start to focus, okay, what is important to me in this moment, what will make me happy in this moment, when we start to think like that, reorganize the way our thoughts happen, choose your thoughts consciously, with the end goal of living your fullest potential, being happy and peaceful, these things become more clear by the day. And these cards are all suggesting that a change of course is needed in this situation. So there may have been, either you've already taken on this new door, or you're in the midst of making this choice. It can differ for everyone. Let me just get these cards out. Okay, so So this is again confirming with the cigarette and the mask, like something is definitely causing you dis-ease. Like it's again confirmed that this is a toxic situation. Whatever is bothering you at this time is not in your highest good. It is a toxic situation to be in, and it's perhaps this is with somebody whom you're constantly fighting with, or somebody who tries to manipulate you like a horse. They perhaps try to say that if you do this, then you're amazing, or if you do this, I will give you this bonus, or they try to use fear to get work done or try to manipulate you, or they say that if you're not able to do this, then like why are you even here, like all of the things that are very degrading. And this card is saying definitely there's a change in course needed, and because there is a new door ready for you to step into, and it may require a little planning and strategizing, but you have it in you to get past this toxic situation. And this card suggests that you have successfully let go of a toxic situation for good, and you have already entered this new door. So there are different timelines for everybody. Some of you may be going through this process, transition, change in course, and some of you have successfully passed through this door, and the universe wants to celebrate this choice because it's going to bring in so much more abundance in your life. And let me just check if there is there any more messages that want to come through. Yeah, so that is all of your messages, pal 3. I hope you enjoyed this reading, and I'll see you guys later.